I'm a homeowner in St. Paul. Green ash trees were planted in the 1970s after Dutch elm disease killed all the mature American elms on our boulevard. Now that our green ash trees are mature, there's a new threat that is devastating our ash trees, the insect emerald ash borer. But there is something you can do to save your ash trees. I have 2 green ash trees on the boulevard in front of my house that I'm concerned about.
I think when people are considering whether or not to treat their ash trees, of course, the first thing that they want to look at is if that tree is in good condition or not, and if it actually has the potential to have a long life with injections. I think it's also important for people to understand that the worst option if you have an ash tree is to do nothing. Because no matter what, it's going to cost money. You have to do something with it. And if you wait until that tree is heavily infested, it gets to be really brittle very quickly. It's a dangerous tree and it's a lot more expensive and difficult to remove. So the first step really is to assess the trees and make a plan whether you want to keep it and treat it or if you're just going to remove it. But in general, if the trees are in good condition, I think that most tree owners should lean towards saving the trees. So what does it cost to cut down that tree and replace it versus what is it going to cost to treat the tree? And even with just that math, oftentimes to treat the tree for 20 or more years is the same expense as removing and replacing the tree. But what I think is missing from that equation most of the time is considering the benefits of the 2 trees. And with young trees, say for the first 10 to 15 years of their life, at least, not only is there a monetary cost, but I think they're actually an environmental cost. And I think that's what most people need to consider a little bit more when they're looking at treatment versus removal, is what are the benefits that those trees are providing me? And that's environmental benefits as well as direct economic benefits from the value of your house. If you're a single family homeowner, if you're in a part of a homeowners association, the value that your neighbor's house sells at affects the value of your house, the overall appearance of the community. A lot of research has shown that trees provide a lot of direct economic benefits, but only if they're mature. The key thing that people need to start with is how do we get more trees that are 30 plus years old? Because that's when we get the benefits, not with a 10-year-old tree.
IPM stands for Integrated Pest Management, and it's really just an evolving art and science that aims to reduce off-target effects of our management practices when we're taking care of a landscape. And it's based on principles of scheduled preventive maintenance as opposed to just reactive treatments when some insect problem shows up, and use of cultural and chemical tactics. So cultural means how can you modify the site, like the irrigation or mulching or different things that you can do that reduce stress on the plants. So emerald ash borer right now, it's an invasive insect, meaning it attacks pretty much any ash out there. It's not like it's related borers that will attack only the stress trees. Since it has no insect or any other kind of disease that keeps it in check, then we have to take on that role as the check and balance system for it. And it's all a trade-off. In the case of emerald ash borer, it's accepting the trade-off of using some chemicals, the lowest amount possible, to get the job done, to preserve ash trees, which originally, before EAB attacked in Minneapolis, or we found it, it was 22% of our urban forest. And without it, we know that not using pesticides means we're going to have thousands upon thousands of dead ash trees that become super brittle and hazardous and dangerous to remove. So it's part of the toolkit, part of the tools in the toolbox, not like we rely solely on that, but we need to have that in the mix in order to preserve part of our urban forest, because the urban forest is responsible for carbon sequestration, reduction of wind velocity, interception of stormwater, social benefits. Everyone likes living in a neighborhood with trees a lot better than they like it where there are no trees.
I've decided to protect my green ash trees with an injection because the mature ash trees have great value to me. They increase my property value, they shade the house in summer, they lessen the noise in the neighborhood and provide other environmental benefits.